Yeah, hear it, so I can hear it. Good.
And if you can't stay close, if you live.
A pleasant good evening, Radio Land. Once again, this is Lavi Gumbs, and we're back on the Real Talk. I don't know what is happening to my voice all of a sudden. Yeah, but I guess maybe it's the weather. So tonight, I am excited as usual, and I'm going to be here to talk about second chances. Oh my goodness! Don't tell me my voice is actually going on me. Yeah. So I have in the studio with me. He's no stranger. He's back again.
Good night, good night. Thanks for having me back, Lavi. Real talk.
You're not going to tell him your name?
Oh, Sylvester Watley. Yeah, good night, everybody. It's me, Sylvester Watley.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you're comfortable. There's so many
True.
people out there looking at us. But 8 o'clock just creep up on me like that. I really had a lot of time. But I think sometimes maybe when we have too much time,
For ain't too much to do and doing the right things.
Yes, Sylvester, tonight is Wednesday night. How was your day?
Oh, it was all right. It was regular. All right, I can't lie. Give up, wake up, give God thanks and praise, and went to work. Another regular day on the job. Back home to the family.
Anything trending? And you heard anything?
Oh, man. Trending with St. Kitts?
Well, I'm just asking you. I'm
Oh,
asking
man,
you if
something
anything
always
trending.
Something always trending in little old St. Kitts and Nevis right now these days.
Well, for me, I got to take time out to the family of Otis. The passing, Otis is somebody that I know. We actually went school in St. Thomas, in Aspinall in junior high school, and, the passing of his sudden death.
Okay,
Sheila, his entire family over there at Westbourne Gut,
Okay,
and
yeah.
also those up there in Atlanta, his wife. Otis is somebody that, really live a great life, That's the days when young guys go out and,
That's what's up.
they're on the outdoors and, he go out and he become an entrepreneur. He just never procrastinate. So when, young man still in his 50s
Pass out.
and he just passed out like that. So, yeah. To
We
anyone
give
out
God-
there that is heard of Otis, he used to live in St. Thomas, and whenever he get a chance, he come home. So it's like he never forgot St. Kitts.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Home is where the heart is.
of course, definitely. I'm gonna be looking for it for whatever reason. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. I also gotta say condolences to anyone else that is out there going through
condolences.
any kind of loss of death, family, friends, loved ones, associates. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, these are people that we connected with.
True.
So that's what's going on there, basically.
Yeah, you said Otis was a good person.
He was
See,
a
that's
businessman,
businessman.
Otis basically, from the time I know Otis in his teens, we practically around the same age, maybe one or
Right.
two age difference. And all I know of Otis basically is out there just hustling and working and, and then he went out and he found a wife. He found himself a good woman and he married and got children and, just was out there being a daddy, a businessman, and I think he actually went in the church as well too. So
That's what's up.
yeah,
That's what's up. Well,
Otis.
we celebrate Otis, All
Yeah,
our fallen soldiers, our brothers and sisters who we lost along the way.
yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that knows him. And like I said, his family definitely is over there in Westbourne Gut.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
that's close
Otis
to
is
me.
actually a family of mine by my father's side.
He ain't saying 'cause you never know, right?
I think we're all related if you ask me.
Definitely.
But anyway, so that's what's up. I'm here trying to find a link so I can give some more information about it. Okay, hold on. Let me get this here quickly. Okay, there it is. There it is coming. Bear with me. Wow, it's like I'm not finding it. Okay. But, so you can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, so you already know. We said the topic is.
No,
Second
just go ahead and give
chances.
your story.
You
know,
my story. My story.
Well,
is,
I don't really
mean,
know your story, so let me know who, your story, your journey.
Story's unique, man. I mean, everybody's story is different, you check? But I think a lot of things that happen in all our lives that we can learn from each other.
I want you to
feel
talk
me?
about your story. I don't want to hear about nobody else. I want to
My
hear your story.
My story's looking good though. From where I started from, my story's looking good these days.
You
And
know,
I
the
give
people
God-
out there waiting for you
I give
to
God
say to them.
thanks. You know, like I mean, I'm what they would call a deportee, but you know, it's much more to it than that. You know, I can't blame anybody for my situation. You know, I did things that was against the law and I paid the consequences.
I'm looking at something.
Came back home, and you know, being back home is funny. When you come back home, you feel like you're supposed to be welcomed with open arms, you know. But you come home, and it was really nothing much for me to do when I came back home.
So let me ask a question. You was a deportee. So evidently had to be some reason why you was a deportee.
Yeah, I chose the wrong road. You know, your parents, they try hard to keep you on the right track.
And you didn't
But I
listen.
think-
You didn't listen.
No, I think as a youngster, and the societies, I mean, the things you see, and if you're not strong-willed and you don't have, strong backative, and you're really gonna need people in your corner. 'Cause
Let me ask a question. You had your mom and dad in your life?
no, just my mother and my grandmother. Those,
So you
that,
didn't
that,
have-
was, that was mom and dad there.
So you didn't have a male figure in your life?
No,
So
not in the household. No.
right. And how old you would have been when you get yourself in trouble?
Oh, I jumped off the porch like I was probably 15, 16.
Oh, so you was pretty young. You was like in the adolescent,
I
peer
mean,
pressure stage.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
you're in high school and everybody banging, you know? You're selling drug or you're gang banging, and you just couldn't be that one dude on the block. You ain't doing nothing. You're going to be a square. They ain't going to really, people ain't going to take you on after that. And I was always a kid that I was always hyped. You know, I was always extra, so I was always getting fights, so people always knew my name.
What you consider yourself being hype but angry?
No,
Or
I was,
just
maybe back then I was angry, but I didn't know. Because I think people say you're angry, but I used to wonder, I was in a good house, you feel me? I didn't have everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed.
And we will never have everything, because what is everything, by the way?
Facts, because once you get something you thought you needed,
What
you
is
will look for more
everything?
anyway.
Correct. Yes.
So I wasn't angry, but I always felt like I had to defend. You remember, I don't have any big brothers.
Yeah, so
I'm my mother and my father's first child. I don't have any big brothers. I didn't have no father in the house. So we're growing up in the hood, in New York, you understand? In the Bronx, you gotta kind of make a name for yourself, or else you're gonna be left behind. You understand?
Question: what age did you leave from here to go to the U.S.?
I was about 6. I migrated to Puerto Rico first with my granny. We stayed. My granny had a living job over in Puerto Rico. So we was there for a little bit and then came back here for a few minutes and then I went straight to New York.
The reason why I'm asking, because sometimes when young children, depending on what age they leave, the adjustment. But if
Right.
you leave at 6, you'll already be be able to fall into the system
Exactly.
very easily.
Because for many years I thought I was actually one of them. I wasn't even really paying attention to the politics of not being from there.
But you was actually one of them. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
I'm
You went there
active.
when you were a kid.
Yeah, I started from primary school.
You
I
actually
went from primary
schooled
school,
there.
high school, everything. And like I was telling you, I just thought that, I wanted to be down. I wanted to be, because in my heart, I wasn't really on the evil tip. I wasn't trying to kill nobody like that. But I just wanted you to know my name. So any little thing, I like to fight.
Question. One at a time. Let us not speak over one another.
Mm-hmm.
So would you consider you probably in your adolescence, it would have been maybe peer pressure or bullying? Have you faced any bullying?
No. I mean, bullying.
Were you the bully?
No, I never, I don't like to bully. I don't bully people. I was just so outspoken all the time that you would think twice about playing with me. But not to say that people never tried, but nobody was really bullying me. I don't think it was much of maybe peer pressure, but I think I just wanted to say, like, I'm going down that road. I think I actually chose it, like, and then it kind of happened too, because the things that you're into, you're on the block, you gang banging, and you hanging with all the gang bangers, you're hanging with all the drug dealers. What's left there? What's left? What's next?
And you're a teenager too.
Exactly.
Right? So how long did you went to prison for?
Well, it was a few stints. It was a few. Longest is probably like 2. And then that was before I came in. But I was in and out of prison. I've probably been through the system 20 plus times.
I mean, I'm not really, because it don't happen anyway. You're sharing your story that can impact and inspire somebody else, right? So when did you get deported? When you spent how much? Just 2 years?
Yeah, I was actually on my way out. I was on a little stint there, and I was on my way out. Regular thinking that, I got locked up on the weekend, I'm going home this weekend,
right.
And then you realize I'm still sitting there, and I'm like, hold on, today's the day I'm supposed to go home. Next thing you know, you hear the immigration services come in, and they're telling you that, you've been, they have, in America, you have to remember, I'm not from there, I'm not legally from there, I wasn't born there. So every time you go through the system, they look at the fact that, okay, you're not from here, so immigration will took over.
So let me ask a question. You're not from there, but were you on a green card? Did you have your...
Yes.
So you was not a citizen?
No, I was not yet. Just being naturalized. My paperwork, because I was legal, but I just wasn't a citizen yet.
Well, do you know, I think that I think there's some people that got deported, and I think they said after, I guess depending on the nature of what they do, did.
You can try again.
They can also try again. I mean, look, for instance, look at Bourgeois Banton, and he's on the market out there right now.
Exactly.
But what I want to ask you, how was it for you when you came back home to a place that you left at 6 years old? How old were you then when you came home?
I was 26, actually.
So 26 minus 6.
20 years.
That's like 20 years. So you really don't know anyone here.
No.
The adjustment, even though you're from here, you most likely speak different, you think different.
Yeah.
How was it for you getting back into society, apart from help from your parents, but getting jobs or fitting back in here?
Well, coming straight out of prison, I had a mindset that I was going to kind of cool out after being told that I'm going to get deported. I kind of had a little talk with myself.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I ain't got no trouble in saying kids, man. Nobody have no beef. Nobody know me for doing it. I'm going to just cool out when I go home. So when I came home, I kind of just stayed around the family and friends, try to get to reacquaint myself with the place. And I went down to Anguilla for a few times, met my father and, spoken. But I don't like Anguilla, so I came right back up. And I didn't do anything for about a year but party.
So you had family here?
Yes, I have a sister that lives here. I have aunts and uncles that live here. So I have a lot of cousins. So I wasn't really like left out, but they were there. All I had to do was reach out.
Right, and who was able to talk to you, like to help you find your way back into society? Because, being deported, right?
Yeah.
We don't really have any system here where you leave from a place that...
Right.
Totally different place, and then
saying.
you come back here to St. Kitts. How was the transition?
Well, the transition, for one, is different. It's way slower here. I wasn't used to just 7 o'clock. I was like, there was nowhere to go for me, and I was like, yo, what I'm gonna do here, yo? You feel me?
And the weather.
Everybody is hot.
The
all
temperature,
day.
of course.
I was like, yeah, I gotta,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, it's blazing. I can't be taking this, but it was kind of cool because I wasn't used to it. So it was still intriguing at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's the islands. I'm back in the islands, you feel me? I mean, you grew up in New York, you sitting up in the concrete jungle. I had friends that came from New York, came to visit, and they was like, yo, you got the better end of the deal.
So let me ask you a question. When did the vacation mode come out in terms of a lot of partying, and then when did reality hit you that, hey, I'm a grown man, I need to get a job, I need to support myself, not depending on your probably mother or
Right.
sisters or whatever. When did that hit you?
I mean,
Did it hit you?
it did, and it hit me hard too. Well, you asked me earlier about like who do I have to count for like staying stable, like, and I have to give thanks to like my stepfather and my uncle, you know, and those are two real positive men that was in my life that I probably should have had them sooner in my life. You understand? I'd have probably made, not the same choices, but I mean they played a big role.
All right, so coming back here, like I said, you were still young, 21. Even though you might supposed to be an adult, you're still young.
Right.
You
26.
don't have money to really take care of yourself, to sustain yourself, right? How was it for you to keep on the straight and narrow?
Well, I was tempted.
I'm
I was
sure-
tempted. I was tempted to get some money. I was on the streets.
Of
I was out
course.
there, and I was like, you know what? Might as well get some money, sell some weed or something. But like you said, when reality it hits. And I think it was a time I must have wanted some money, and I was like, yo, nothing doing. I think I called my mom's in New York. I was like, I need some money. Send me for $500 or something. She was like, all right, well, next week. I'm like, no, I don't need it next week. I need it now.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't help you now. And that's when it hit me. I was like, yo, it's time to go get me a job, yo.
Right.
And I never had a job in my life. You feel me? Like, all I did was sell drugs and, like, rob people and them stuff. You check? So I never had a 9 to 5.
Could you slow down a bit? Because I want you just said something, and this, I think, the people out there really need to hear this, because this is real, and just the fact that you could come here and want to talk about it. You said that you wanted to rob people, sell drugs and everything. So
No, that's what I used to do in America. That's all I
no,
knew.
you're good. I'm just trying to basically, I want people
Yeah.
to know, because they're person out there that are listening, but you did not go down that route.
No, not when I came back. I decided not to. That's one thing I told you. Like I told you, I had to talk to myself. I said, I'm not going to go back and do the same things. And reality hit, and I was like, yo, I need a job. It's time to get a job.
So why you think it was time to get a job after your mom tell you?
She's like, nah, not
She-
now. I need
she
that
don't got
paper
the
now.
money,
She
yeah.
ain't got it. She's like, I ain't got it right now. Remember, it's 3 more of a sibling. She got her own bills. She got her own things dealing with. So
So what did you do after that?
I don't remember what I did, but I just realized I just knew I needed a job. So, between that year I was home, I filled out a couple job applications.
Yes.
But nothing ever led anywhere. And then,
Did you have a skill or anything?
nah, I ain't had no skill. I could just talk. All I could do was talk. I ain't got no skill with other.
Listen, and it's normal because, as I said, you didn't have a male figure in your life. You know what I mean? You had a dad, yes.
Yeah.
So, and this is what happening today with a lot of youths, not just the men, the women also,
Facts.
right? However, I feel like it hit the men a little bit more harder, and that is why a lot
Because
of
we're supposed to be the breadwinners.
A
We're
lot of
supposed to be the ones
men-
bringing the thing home.
are suffering from young men. It can take them on the verge of mental
Health, illness.
health illness, because when a man don't have money, it can mess with your ego, it can
telling
make him
you.
very vulnerable, and he can go out there and, as you said, easily go into somebody that said, boy, don't take on them there, boy, them is hard work. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Boy, I could go rob this person and we're going to get this and that. And when you do it and you get away, it makes you want to do it again.
Not because you're female, Lavi, you're hitting the nail on the head. You feel me?
So you went and you get a job.
Yeah.
And
I mean, our job presented itself to me. I was blessed. I thought it was one of the moments where I was just hanging out.
so what kind of job did you get? What was the job out there that was available at the time?
I was working on a garbage truck. I started working on a garbage. My first job in my life was working on a garbage truck. And that actually like walked into my lap. I was just hanging out with my fellas, and one of the gentlemen, Mr. McCall at the time, who was the supervisor at the time, and he came to visit one of his ex-workers, and he was teasing one of my other friends, telling me, I thought you want a job. So I was like, mister, where you work at? He's like, I work for Solid Waste and boom, boom, boom. And I was like, I need a job, yo. He's like, boy, y'all young people ain't want to work on no garbage truck. So I'm like, what you talking about? That's money. That's clean money. Told me come to his office. I went to his office the next day, and 15 years later, I'm still there.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this about being from a small island. I think there's a lot of wrong perceptions when it comes to a job. because, as you said, clean money. You go to America, some of the same people from the Caribbean go up and hold on them same jobs.
It's the mindset.
You understand? Matter of fact, working on, well, let me say the garbage truck, environmental, right?
Solid waste.
Health.
Yeah.
You find that those people bring home money to their family, and a lot of them can retire comfortable
True.
with insurance and everything, right? So I feel like the mindset of our people, and when I say our people, not just St. Kitts people, but Caribbean people on a whole, because the place is small, this perception where people are going to tell you, you're supposed to look this way, you're supposed to walk this way, this whole fakeness that we're putting out there, especially men, young men, it makes in a lot of them procrastinating and basically
On their dreams.
they're not in their reality.
No.
They're in somebody else's reality because they're
Facts.
just seeing it's like, okay, for instance, Jay-Z, people just see Rihanna just become a billionaire where she just went to sing. All of a sudden, a lot of the young men just want to go and sing.
Everybody feel like
And I was listening to a documentary. I forgot. I'm not sure if it's Ramesh over there in Jamaica. So he'd be Shensia. But I was listening to one of them, an artist, and he was saying that these young guys have to be very, very careful when they go into the music because it can blow your mind because they're not going to blow up. And sometimes it's just not their dream. Like I said, it's somebody else's reality.
Yes.
And this is why if you notice how the music have gone, there's no creativity. So people bringing their toxic behavior or the negativity into their music. It is happening for now. But at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever.
Nope.
And, it's going to change. Music going to change. It's a revolving world. So when people don't want to hear, the nasty words that they're putting out there that can't even play on the radio to take you where you need to get to the next level.
True.
So
true.
So I'm just saying that the fact that you went and you chose solid waste, and I hear that you got a wife too,
Yeah, man. Well, I mean,
a whole wife, from where?
No,
Working
from-
on a garbage truck?
No, I met her.
I just asking,
I know. I'm gonna show you what's going on with that one.
Give me a second.
Well-
I just got to say once again a pleasant good evening to anyone that is out there listening. It's only an hour, so sometimes I don't just jump in people, you know what I mean? One of these days, like I said, every day when it comes to real talk, ain't gonna be the same. And I live in my reality, so I'm not a reporter. People don't expect us to be presenting our show like how somebody else. This is the uniqueness of having Real Talk with Lavi, is to just allow people to be themselves. And so far it's working because we're able to bring on the ordinary people that you wouldn't be really hearing their voices, that they don't mind coming on the show because they recognize that there's no pressure to be here, but just share your story and that can impact somebody else in a positive way.
Yeah. So
So I was asking you how you met your wife.
I met my wife.
Don't give out too much details, eh? I just want the people to see, right, that this deportee, he did not just come back as a deportee, a pretty boy out there. You know what I mean? He came back hard working and was able to, meet a queen, and the queen saw a king out of him. So that's where I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I actually met my wife in church. We're both big football fans, and her family and I are very good. She wasn't living here; she was living in the States as well.
Okay.
So when she came back, we met up in church, and she told me, I see you in football all the time, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna link up. And that was it. That was 5 years ago. We've been married. We'll be married 4 years now in November. She has a daughter, and I have 2 children as well, and we have 3 kids together. That's our 3 kids together.
Listen, and you got to treat the woman like a diamond in the sky, because, nowadays, if you see how people, even when you hear the things on social media, a lot of men, the things that they want from women and the things that women want from men, it's so funny because a lot of our parents or grandparents, they basically, some of them used to work in the sugar industry, who never used to cut cane, heading water or driving tractor. And they was comfortable and was able to turn out some of these successful people that are now looking for people that have money. And if you notice, they're still looking for something else, evidently. a relationship is more than just how much money you bring into the table
True.
or how good you look. You know what I mean?
True.
Then again, it depends on to each his own. If you want a dolly, expect wherever you get from the dollar. But you
Right.
can't want a dolly and still looking to get a conscious, spiritual, what you call it, a progressive person
Understand,
out of
yeah.
a mannequin.
And I agree with you. I mean, she knew I wasn't rich. So, I mean, something about me, I was like, yeah, I guess she feeling me for me. You understand? I didn't come with much. I mean, it's not most women. You'll find men who will take on a woman with children, but it's not most women who take on a man with children. You feel me? Because my children actually lived with me when we met. So you don't find much women who do that. And she's a keeper. She's a real one. You feel me? I do I see a lifetime with this one.
So I'm gonna get a little deep into this here, but everybody know me. It's gonna be clean, because for this lady, as you said, what she see in you, you didn't had money. Evidently, there was something else. I would assume that in the home, you're an asset in the home as well, because that's where it all starts for any relationship to progress.
I mean, I
It
think
starts
any-
from the house.
I think any man who calls himself a real man should be an asset in his house. You feel me? Whether you make more than her or she makes more than you, there's always there's room for you to show who the man is and what you bring to the table. And in my house, I mean, my wife is one of those people that she loves a real man. So when you come to my house, she will let it be known who what's up and what's what. The children as well. We don't try to. If me and my wife have anything, it would just be something about each other that we went through. We don't go to the masculinity or the feminist movement in my house to see who's what. I wash the dishes. I wash a lot of dishes. My wife cooks.
And
understand?
that is why I chose to go down this road, You see, we're not accustomed here in our little small island, because somebody out there might be saying, what's she asking the man about his wife for? I am a builder. This is what the show is about. Because in order for us to go here as a nation, as a people, we need to go back and realize that just like how we was trained from our grandparents, you have to have a foundation in the home.
Facts.
And just like what you said, right? It's not money. A relationship is what? Financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and whatever else, right? Now, all of that, it doesn't mean you're going to have 100%. So what is happening now? Like I said, people are targeting people because of how they look.
True.
And then what they do is they get whatever, the physical part, and they get bright, and they go to another one for the financial part.
Facts.
Then they go to another one for the emotional part. You feel what I'm saying, right?
And then we'll be giving piece of ourselves
So
to
you're getting
everybody.
peace, and you're going to end up in total drama. Drama,
Facts.
right? So being a man in the home, just like what you said, it starts from basically you being involved in the home.
Exactly.
Involved.
You see, I think
That
we need
says
to-
a lot.
We got to get out of the long-time notion of trying to prove, the man with the pants relationship. And in my house, it doesn't even matter who does what. It's just who gets to it first. If I I don't expect my wife to wake up and make my breakfast and still got to go clean the kitchen. Still got
Right.
to go wash the dishes.
Speak
You
it,
feel
brother.
me?
Speak it.
My wife doesn't, but she's one of those women that she will. So you'll have to be there. That's the thing about us men. We kind of slacked up on that. That's another way too. We take away ourselves so much that we don't we don't know what we're supposed to be doing because we're not there at all. You understand? We get our food and we bounce. You feel me? We drop our clothes off and we bounce. You feel me? I don't live on those kind of notions. I don't feel like, oh, my wife got to pick up after me. Even though I would say something, but at the end of the day, it's not something where I stand on and say, oh, I'm upset because she didn't do it. It's just, you didn't pick it up. Okay, so it's gone. It's done now. And we move on.
I'm very proud of you because the fact, like I said, you was not ashamed to even be sharing your stories. Matter of fact, how I came up across you is not even just happened by accident. I got information from you from another pastor of you giving your testimony in the church. And the fact that you can come here, I'm using the word deportee because being a deportee doesn't mean that you are a deportee. You got deported. you are, what's your name?
Sylvester
You are
Watley.
Sylvester Watley. But we come from a small environment. If you do something,
They try to label
they
you.
carry that label on top of you, and you cannot blame people. But in order to get that label off, you have to do the work, and you basically have to show, not just show people, but show who you are. And once you show who you are, even if that label and that's how they see it, they're still gonna want you to share your story, because your story is gonna impact so many people. So many.
And now you're 100% right, because people gonna just label you according to what you know. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's a deportee," but they're not gonna continue down that road because they're gonna realize you've made something of yourself after. So that could be where you started. Some people make it that we're a fish out of water because you might have been deported, because you lost a job, because you lost a boyfriend or you lost a girlfriend. Nah, life goes on. You feel me? And if God made you, if God created us to be that weak, then we're not fearfully and wonderfully made. You feel me? So we gotta remind people that your downfalls doesn't define who you are. You feel me? Yeah, I was deported, but look at me 16 years later, like my family's proud of me, I'm proud of myself. You understand? I have accomplishments. These are major accomplishments. Me being married with children and a good job, and being able to wake up healthy every day in our own home, and those are accomplishments to me.
I got to recognize persons on the chat right now. As you know, this show reach social media and also on YouTube. The folks out there in the entire Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, down in the Virgin Islands. There's a few people on the thread from St. Kitts. I see Tracy Warner is tagging someone and telling them big lights on. Tracy, I want Tracy, I want you to do the honor for us and also go on Big Lights thread and say, Real Talk is on. I feel like networking, it's only fair because what we're doing here is something positive and it's something totally different from Big Lights. So Tracy, Tracy Warner, hey girlfriend, this show is about empowerment and building our grassroots people. So we are urging you to be as bold, the same thing how you was able to tag someone on our program. Do the same over there. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mwah. All right. I want to say good evening to Glenette Deport over there. She said good night, Lavi. We have C.G. Walwin. He's over there in Texas. And Mr. Walwin, I really have to tell him thank you so much too, because he have really been an instrument for me to continue with the show and to keep the show on the level that it's actually been going. Not because you see me coming here, sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes when I come, I don't really have as much content because there's so much other things I'm doing.
True. And
by different people, Marva Pringle, Vanny, Griffin, there's so many different people that will call me up and say, hey, Lavi, there's Carmen down in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. A lot of people, I go to the bank, people say, Lavi, continue doing what you're doing, and just the encouragement. It helps a lot because the show is not about me. And we're really getting other persons who want to come on the show. But as I said, it's only every week, it's only 1 hour. For now, I'm comfortable with the hour because we don't want it to be, this is not about drama, a debate. We're not here to see who could talk the best, And like I said, I decided to involve your wife because you're a married man. And I don't feel like I'm breaching her privacy because it's something positive. I just feel that I had to do it because we don't hear enough men talking about their women or their wife or even their children. True. It's all about politics here, the drama. As you see, a lady came on our thread and she's tagging someone to tell them that this other person is on that have nothing to do with our program. And I'm not upset, but I'm just saying do the same thing over there, So
that's what's up.
So it's very good to know that you and your wife have a good relationship, and that is where relationship building gets in. And when you have a relationship in the home where people are being a teamwork, as you said, you don't expect her to cook all the time. You don't expect her to wash the dishes all the time, right? True. And if a lot of young men get that in the home, for whatever reason, like I said, society is teaching the children to basically things just drop out the sky and it come easy just like that. And when I look around, I go on the beach I go to a lot of different places. I walk 4th Street, maybe I go by Cable and by Flow to pay a bill. And when I look around and I see our black men, and a lot of them are not just teenagers, but they're comfortable, just loafed in, hide their sunshine, not doing
Chilling,
anything.
huh?
And those men are out there looking, they're not looking for women who just are chill like them, you know. They're looking for professional women to take care of them. And if women are not serious or careful, you know, what we do as an adult, as female mothers, if we bring weakness, we're going to bring, most likely produce weak children. That generation curse. Not everybody going to go the same, but children do what they see the parents are doing. And as you know, someone was telling me this. I have to say this. Yes, Lavi, I am so glad that I was born in the 60s and in the 70s. I'm an 80s baby. They said because we get the last of the indoors and the outdoors. He said back in the days, parents used to come and tell the children, come inside, no go back outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, parents will want the children go outside because the children just in the house and they playing
Tablets
games and the tablets just ain't doing nothing. So we producing a set of laid back, lazy. A lot of them really don't have any skills. They don't want to go out there. Construction having so much money, plumbing having so much money, electrical having so much money.
They'll tell you the sun hot.
They say the sun hot,
tell you the sun
and what
hot.
they do, they go out and they rob, like what you said, and guess what you did? When you go out and you do these things, what happened to you?
Went to prison.
You went to prison and it
And
never
you
stayed there.
You shame your family. You give yourself a record. Wound up, I mean, look what happened. I wound up getting deported. You keep it up enough. I mean, eventually you're going to meet. You did bad. Everything has its rewards, eh?
Right.
So if good have a reward, then you know bad will eventually have its reward, eh? So if you keep living like this, and then plus, it's not just you're hurting anymore. You got to understand. We sitting here, we putting our boys on T-shirts left and right.
Yes.
I ain't with that. No, I'm not part of the T-shirt gang. You feel me? Nobody come tell me about no T-shirt every minute. You feel me? Unless natural causes or something like that, I could work with that. But I'm not going to be defending because then I'm going to be like, yo, we ready. We waiting for the next T-shirt. You feel me? At the end of the day, it hurts.
And you know, I'm going to say this, right? I think I can say this because I try to say things that it's not really coming from me, but it's what's happening out there. I'm not going to be specific, but I've had people right here in St. Kitts and Nevis of other race, especially men, and they come up and they say, Lavi, what happened to, your local Kittitians? They're so lazy. How you guys could just come in here and, you see we taking over and you guys not realize what is happening.
Wow.
You all don't want any work. And they say, Lavi, are you married? I said, no. I said, Lavi, if my culture was not like that, I will marry to you. You're the kind of woman that I want. No, I don't think he means just Lavi. He's talking about the ambitiousness to go get a kind of thing. And a lot of these people are concerned of our black women because they recognize that in the black race, especially in the smaller island, they're seeing the men are not really, enough men are not basically taking the role. We also get comfortable, especially in the Indians family. We get comfortable saying, well, the woman them don't have no say. But at the end of the day, the women, they know their role because the men are basically being masculine. So they don't have to be the masculine and in the home.
Yeah.
So what is happening now, a lot of black women, especially when they know themselves, people tend to think that they're bitter or they think they know it all. But sometimes it's not a matter of people are bitter, but they already know the bitterness that they went through, and they don't want to go back through that. So sometimes some women don't have any relationship, and it's unfortunate. But I would have never even thought of myself, as I get older, feeling comfortable that I don't need to really have a man in my life. Now, does that mean I don't want a man in my life? No. But I don't want to be just saying I have a man. A man to be doing what? Harassing me, just calling me when what time you done work? So, and it's like an arm because they target women that they think are independent,
Lonely.
have a business, and they think that they're lonely. I am not a lonely woman, and there's a lot of other women out there, they're not lonely. They just chose to get their space, to be positive and be careful of who you're bringing in that space. And unfortunately, our local Kittitian men, the majority of them now, and I'm even speaking about the straight men, the majority are more interested into politics, into other people's business than their own business. Can you relate to that as a man?
That's becoming a thing of the norm right now. We'd rather sit down and comment on everything on Facebook or on the gram or whatever. And like you said, it's like how the Bible will say, wipe the plank out your eye before you go try to wipe the speck out of somebody's eye. And anybody worried about what you're doing before they worry about what they're doing. And
Correct.
yes, I'm familiar with that. I'm seeing a lot of that right now too.
Right, and if you look at it, and of course, there's a lot of strong men here in St. Kitts. I'm telling you, I went to National Bank the other day, and while I was going, there was a gentleman, a young guy was going in. He recognized I was coming, and he held the door. And I was like, wow, thank you, because I've had some slam the door, meaning they don't even look back. They don't know their surroundings unless it's somebody that they know.
Training.
You know, and I think this is what really, down here in St. Kitts, and I'm not here to call on anyone because this is what these programs here is about, is to help our people to get to the next level. Right?
Agreed.
Because if I never live outside of the box, I'm telling you, I don't think I would have had this kind of mindset where our surroundings should not just be where I'm envying watching somebody with what they have. Most people would say, oh, Lavi, I like your hair, I like your dress, I like your shoes. You understand?
That's as far as we could go.
Most of the time when I speak to some of the other races, hey, Lavi, how you doing? Long time I haven't seen you. How's the business coming? And we engage in other conversation.
The conversations
you
are
understand
different,
what I mean?
yes.
Nothing wrong in complimenting, like, but am I going to be hearing all the time? And a lot of people go through this. You look good. So when the day come and you figure that I don't look good or whoever don't look good, you're going to leave to them and just keep on going and going and going and going like that.
Well, Lavi, that's why it's real talk with you. You just talk real, eh? You just talk real.
Well, and that's why I chose.
You hit the nail on the head, man. That's
Thank
real
you.
talk. That's real talk, Lavi.
And Sylvester, and this is why I chose to keep it real and relate to things that I know that I can present.
Right.
Because I am not just going to come here and try to speak about something. Like, as much as I like politics, I don't like politics like this, where I have to just always finding criticism, like just basically criticizing, because if you're in this prime minister and it's another prime minister, then the same people, they jump on to the other prime minister. And this is what's happening
that's the
here.
problem. We sit down and we criticize. Since I've been back, I've been on the 3 different prime ministers, and I'll have to ask people, what do y'all really want?
Yeah.
What do we really want?
Yeah.
We curse every single one of them we've had. I don't know. People are just, it's hard. And Kittitians they're bright people.
Of course,
They're
bright
people. But I think we've been blinded by this spoon-feeding government kind of system.
Well, and as I said, it's come from because we're in a small box. And
right.
a lot of people that say, oh, we're small, but we're Talawa. But we're not Talawa as we think we are. And if we are really Talawa, our Talawa is basically like, for instance, when you maybe happen to job big and maybe in the sports and you're out there. So all of a sudden we're Talawa for that. But in the mental capacity, like, for instance, I was watching Donald Trump. They had the rally or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I've seen where Donald Trump, all the females, the governors, all of them, his daughter-in-law, everybody, a lot of females, they are pushing empowerment. And when I listen to these people of another race, I could have listened to them because it was so gentle. And the air, whether you want to support Republican or you don't want to support them, the positiveness, the leadership that you see coming from these people. There's a lot of people, for instance, they're going to be saying, oh, they want all women, you need women here to run the government. There's a lot of women here that are not empowerment, they're not leadership. So not because you're a woman, they mean, oh, it's fine because you're a woman, so you're a leader.
That's why we have to be careful.
Leaders are not born. Leaders are made. And if the people that we are here, looking for and thinking that when we're talking about this particular person, we really have a major crisis here in our country, because it's very hard to be hearing positive leaders or people that bring in leadership when we actually hearing them in the media. It's all about like me this. Everybody is like a self-praise what they did. And at the end of the day, what they did, they probably do it for a few. And to run a country is not for a few, it's for the whole federation.
Go ahead, Lavi. Talk to them. Real talk.
You know, a few years ago, I wanted to actually go into the arena as a politician. But I never even realized the depth of this politics, and that is why we don't really have much people to go in the ring, because it's a party kind of affiliated thing.
True.
If you don't have the monies to actually come and feed, and people out there that are going to throw monies in to help build you, you're not going to really get anywhere, And for a woman that basically know the struggles, understand the struggle, because there's a lot of people out there, like I said, calling down people like you, basically, as a young man at 15 years old. You're not the first. You go at HMP. The prison is filled with a lot of young men. It grieved my heart when I see these young men over there just not doing anything. And I really gonna hope that we're talking about giving people second chances that they can integrate back into society. This is what the topic is about, right?
Yes.
In order to do that, the politics that a lot of us are playing and the person that in the position to do these things, they're going to have to really focus, because we really need an urgent rehabilitation center here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I go to the prison to teach cosmetology. And if I did not have the heart of a lion, I would not go back to HMP for many reasons. And even by me saying this, people not here accustomed to people to speak like this, they hush us down. You understand? They hush us down and they promote the bad people and give them all kind of money. And most of the time we don't get the money. What do we get?
Criticism.
But I could tell you this. I go to HMP and I need this to be out. And when I go there, for instance, why would anyone want to leave to go into a hot prison? You don't have no air condition. You don't have nobody even coming in to check in the classes to see what you're doing. Yes. You don't have anyone to even give you water. So you actually putting yourself into get germs, because there's no one even like to sanitize you, like that. And there's no special treatment. So going to the prison, you're not really being treated no different from the prisoners. And I'm being honest. And this is because it's not the prison officers' fault. But if you don't have a professional facilitation, right? And this is why it's very important that, all this politics and people talking about the prison thing with whatever money and the CBI and all these things. I know these are probably things that needs to be addressed. But on a serious note, a government is there to provide the prison, the hospital, the roads, the schools, making sure that the citizens have jobs.
Right.
There's certain things that government are supposed to do regardless of who government is in. And this is the focus, and a rehabilitation center is needed, because there's a lot of people, and I'm saying this because of you right here. Deportees are coming back to St. Kitts. There's nothing there to put them in even for a little 3 months to 6 months for them to have somebody that can shadow them and can help and encourage and build our young men. Build our young men. And this is why a lot of men, the young guys, are on the street, just like this. They're rolling the spliff. Nothing wrong in doing it. But there's nothing else. They don't have no other hobby. So you just roll the spliff, sex, go to hype, fight, then go jail.
So it just right. It was a cycle.
So if we present a stronger leadership, not from the top to the bottom, it must come from the top
You have a call.
To the bottom. Seems like somebody is trying to call me. Let me put my earphones on. A pleasant good night. Hello?
Yeah, hello. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing very good.
Yeah, man. I'm here listening to you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it seems like you have something a little bit different than the regular shows. And
Thank
I
you.
want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to keep along this thread. And good night to the gentleman there that you have there too, man.
Yeah, good night, brother.
I sometimes listen to a show in New York with Al Sharpton on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday mornings.
Yes.
And he liked that Michael Jackson song, start with the man in the mirror. And I guess what he's trying to put the message across that, whenever change and stuff like that need to happen, we got to start with ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I noticed that the gentleman there, you went deep into his relationship and he allowed you to do that. That was pretty cool because it gets to show that, here we have a young man who has built a family and he started with himself and then built a family, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the community can only grow when we start with ourselves and build our families and have that togetherness. And we build out to the village and to the community and to the country as a whole, to the country on a whole. And then I'm gonna lead up to one of the themes that the Prime Minister has. We're going to infuse a little bit of politics here. They're talking
Give me
about
one
this.
second. It's 8:54, 9 o'clock. We finish. So I don't want to
Got
rush.
you.
I don't want to rush you. But what I can do, hopefully, I'm gonna allow it another minute, maybe 30 seconds
Okay.
actually. But I'm gonna try and
Okay,
see
no
if I could
problem.
get your information, and maybe I could have you on my show one of these days. Okay?
Yeah, no problem. So therefore, as I'm noticing, this guy has started with himself, and the Prime Minister is talking about the sustainable island state. It's the same, and I don't believe that this sustainable island state can be achieved unless we start rebuilding our communities. And the people, what I've noticed, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, they got to change their mentality and their attitude. That mentality and the attitude got to change. Otherwise, that sustainable island state issue is not going to be achieved. In order for Dr. Judah to achieve that, we have to start with the citizens of the country. And thanks a lot. And that's all I really wanted to say. And keep up the good works. All right? Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. For
And
whatever
I don't know if
reason,
you I don't know if you figured out your niche yet, but it seems like you probably might be good at relationships and also being like a role model per se.
thank you.
Mentorship programs.
Yes, thank you so much. I would really like, if you don't mind, inbox me. You can go to Real Talk with Lavi, or you can find me at Laverne. Let me see what I have. I have so many pages. Lovely, lavish Lavi. I'm gonna put it in the thread because I would really like you to be a guest on the show, because this is the honest way our people can basically get some change, because it's always telling the people to change, but we was children as well, and we had a whole village raising us. We don't have the village now, and this is where we come in now as adult to give back and share. So thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, great. And have a good evening. I'll reach out to you somehow. Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're
All right, man.
welcome.
Good
Yeah,
night.
bye. I also want to let the caller know I appreciate his call. My program is a non-political affiliated. Anyone calling on this show and bring any negativity, I don't mind whatever they want to share. I do not want no negative on this show. I am not going to entertain it. And everybody bring a different style of politics, right? And as he said, he appreciate what I did in terms of, and that was my whole idea when I asked you about your wife, because I really wanted to get in the depths to show St. Kitts and Nevis that a relationship does not comes because of your status. It comes from individual. You get where I'm coming from?
Should.
Individual. So this status in terms of, well, my husband is this and my husband is that. I show people know the stories where you have a lawyer and a doctor married together, and most of the time the doctor end up divorcing the woman and go to the maid. There must be a reason why he go to the maid. So men are looking for nurturers, but a man must also know when he get a nurturer what to do with the nurturer. Women are looking for providers. A woman must know when she get a provider what to give back to the provider, right?
Yes.
And no, at the end of the day, like I said, it's individual. Everybody have to do their own, their own, whatever they're going to do, their own life, that's their life. But if you really want to be a difference here in this earth, not just in St. Kitts and Nevis, is basically showing leadership is not about self and around who is around you, where you put your hand like this. Or leadership is where you have a large gathering that you're just praising and promoting one person, basically idolizing the people on the platform. And this is where real talk starts. The gentleman spoke about mentorship. Matter of fact, yesterday was my first that I am joined with the Gender Affairs in a mentorship program. So yes, I am a mentor now. I'm actually spreading my wings and soaring. And I am a part of the Gender Affairs, so I am shadowing a few young girls. I am in the process of trying to get a building built. It's like 80%. And we really need the support. I don't be on social media begging for monies, but it's unfortunate that we have people here that really have the work. We really have the work. We have everything that's going. All we need is a little financial help, and we're not getting it. We're focused. And I would hope that some of these other bloggers can come together and continue pushing the message, because this is the only way how we can come together to get things done in our country, to help our people, and to reduce the crime, reduce the amount of young men over there in the HMP, in the prison,
Yep.
that when they come out is a repeat and recycle, because there's nothing for them to go and do. There's not a rehabilitation center here in St. Kitts. Mental illness from a lot of our young men is on the rise because, of course, these men, we don't know. They have their testosterone. Right. We have more estrogen, right, women. And we don't know what goes to these young men. And at the end of the day, the women, as mothers or friends, whatever you're going to be, we're the one that care. We're not just going to run away from these men. And it's very hard, so women need support. But I'm going to end it here tonight, but I just want to let you guys know we have a big surprise for next week's show. Guess who's on The Real Talk with Lavi? None other than Peter Wickham of Barbados. So look forward for you guys, please, to share the page, continue being here with Real Talk with Lavi as we bring positiveness here in St. Kitts and Nevis for change. Up next, like I said, next week, Wednesday, I think that's the 24th at 8 to 9 p.m., we will be having Mr. Peter Wickham. Wickham, he's going to be our next guest. Have a wonderful evening. I got to tell you, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for my lovely audience. Once again, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Lavi. Good night.